Everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. It's Auction Car Friday. We have a 2010 Mitsubishi Galant that got rained on. Windows are open. And the problem is with the power windows. The shop owner said he's tried everything, switches, window regulator. So the problem is with the right side windows. This one apparently goes down, but not up. Either switch. Master switch or the door switch. This one, when you turn the key on, I think he said it just keeps wanting to go down all the time. So something's messed up. Let's do some research. I pulled up a wiring diagram and it looks like this is mostly primitive system. So just powers and grounds and switches, no smart, BCM or anything at all. So let's start with the right front power window regulator motor and see what we're missing. Okay, so keys on, we're ready for testing. I did bring my own battery charger, a Tornado 90,000. This thing rocks, 13.5 volts. Look, it's putting out 40 amps. This battery was pretty well discharged because they're playing with it. So I need good battery voltage for testing. So let's see what happens to the window. So if I lift it up, nothing. Okay, let's try the master switch. Everything got wet in here. That window works. Okay, let's play around with this. The wiring colors do match up. I have 5 wires. 2 of them go to the motor, 3 of them come from above, and let's see what they're supposed to be. So power window relay, when that relay's on, we should have power on these black and red wires. So that black and red wire should be hot, and then these 2 go to the master switch. So let's set up a test light. I have a known good power and ground here, so we can do all our testing. Alright, so I just unplugged the motor and plugged in my bright test lights, and without touching any switches, they're on full brightness. Look, we have 4 amps going through there. Let's mess with the switch. So pulling up, it goes out. It's bright. Pushing down, it's still bright. So it only goes down, but not up. Is this switch messed up? Let's unplug it, because the current has to be going through the switch. Okay. Now, let's put our test light in this connector and see if all the pins are doing what they should be doing. Alright, so I reduced the amperage to 1 amp on the test lights. So we're measuring from that power wire, the black and red, to a known good ground. So that wire is powered up. Now if we, let's see, how is this lockout switch wired in? There's the lock switch right there. So that basically ties everything to ground if the lock switch is enabled. If it's disabled, this whole tree is not grounded. So white and black and red and white should not be grounded when the lock switch is disabled. Interesting. Okay, so now going from power to each one of the control wires, that goes back to the master switch. White and red and white right here, that is grounded. So the lock switch is good. If we press the lock switch or the lockout switch, lights go out, so that works. And lock switch again, lights come on. So that's good. Now what about the neighboring wire? I assume that's not going to be grounded because we can't pull the window up. So we'll move this over here. Look at that. No ground. So do we have a broken wire? So that's a problem. White and black goes through C12, C26 to pin 14 on that master switch. So right now we're sending voltage to over there, so we can plug in a small test light over there. If that lights up, then unplug this one. If it goes out, then the wiring is continuous, but we want to check, is it a wiring problem or is it a switch problem? It's probably going to be a wiring problem from here all the way to the master switch. Well, I'm actually surprised. So from white and black to black, little test light's lighting up. Now if we disconnect the big test light, is that little test light going to go out? No. Something is wrong. Why is that white and black shorted to power? Well, next step is to unplug the master switch, see where the short's coming from. Okay, so test light went out. Why was that shorted to power through here? That's not supposed to happen unless the switch is depressed. Let's see, let's try that again. Oh, look at that. I pressed it and it latched on. Pull it. There you go. So the switch is bad. He tried a new one. Okay. Let's I think he had a spare one in here somewhere. Let me try to find that spare master switch. So with the replacement switch, the black and white wire is dead in the water. It's not grounded in any position, and it's not powered up in any position, which is crazy. How do you explain that? Nothing. If we check the neighboring wire, so right front power window switch, there's a white and black, and pin 12 is a red and white. Let's move the test pin over to the red and white. And that's for the same button. So up, it lights up. Down does not. But if we move our first probe to power wire, look, it's grounded until you pull up. That pin's good, but the white and black is completely offline. So this switch is also bad. So that goes to show you, you fire that parts cannon, you try a replacement part and it doesn't work, you're like, oh, it must not be that. Well, you could have a bad part, especially if it's from another junkyard or something. So we could try to tear that switch apart, see what's going on with the right front switch. But can we make a good one out of two bad ones? Perhaps. Well, here's the replacement switch. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I don't know if we can restore that. That's toast. So that does nothing. I guess we could desolder it. It's 5 pins. 5-pin switch. So high current on a circuit board is always a bad idea. I don't know why manufacturers refuse to learn that. Old school relays were fine. This is terrible. So I tore apart the original Mitsubishi switch, and the problem is clear. So click, no click, click, no click. So this one always wants to go down. Same with this one. And this one has a burned trace. So my question is, can we take these switches, which are good, and put them on this board to replace the bad switches. Maybe we can try that. Alright, so we're going to try to make a good master switch from 2 broken master switch assemblies. So let's fire up the soldering iron. Let's first start by desoldering the old ones. So we basically have to swap 2 switches to the original board, which is not burnt. So I think the only problem was the switches got stuck, and that's it, game over. So let's try that. I'm going to add some solder to these pins, and let's see here, these are 5-pin. Yes, they are 5-pin switches. So now I want to grab it and just pull, apply pressure while desoldering these pins. And it's coming out. Okay, the other side. So let me finish that up and we'll see if it works. Alright, so I got this master switch plugged in. I just resoldered 1 new switch onto this board. Now, let's see if we improved anything. So first, let's go from the white and black to power. So if we go one way, it turns off, other way, it stays on. And if we ground that wire on, let's see here, then it should be the opposite. See, lights up when I go down. So the switch works. However, this should be identical on that side, and it is not. The white and black is not continuous. So if I run from power to the white and black, those lights should change. They do, okay. Very good. And if we go to the red and white, perfect. Okay, so now if we plug in the motor, that should work over there. Alright, moment of truth. Motor's plugged in, switch is plugged in. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Let's see if anything happens from here. It's trying. Let's see what the current is. Maybe the switch in here is bad too? This is ridiculous. Something's really not consistent here. Now we have no test light from the switch. Oh snap. So I opened the door. Check out what's going on with our lights. Oh, I love test lights. I just love it. So we have a broken wire in that door jamb, which is probably shorting to ground and cooked the switch. That's just fantastic. Beautiful. Alright, well, it took some time. Took the entire door apart because obviously the door flex was messed up. And here's what we found. There's our broken white and black. And like all the wires are starting to break and shorting to each other. Mitsubishi quality in the toilet. The design is terrible. It's like a Chrysler, you know, sharp bend. Instead of this, see, it comes out here up top, goes to the bottom. No sharp bends. They knew how to do that. But apparently, Mitsubishi doesn't care. 100,000 miles past the warranty. Who gives a crap? So I'm going to finish repairing the window switch. The shop owner said that he'll either get a new harness or whatever. He'll finalize this. But let's finish soldering the second switch. Alright, here. The harness is taped up and black and white wire is soldered, shrink wrap, all the good stuff. Let's try it out. Up and down. Up and down. So I've replaced the right rear switch. Down all the way. Up all the way. Beautiful. And this one, good. Okay, I think we're done. So broken wires on the door flex, burnt switches, all kinds of good stuff. That's it for this Mitsubishi. Alright, a little bonus footage. In the back of the auction lot, we have a smashed up Toyota Camry. Crank no start. Alternator was smashed in. You see the connector is messed up. And what I noticed right off the bat is the check engine light is missing. It's supposed to be in that right corner. The key on, no check engine light. So right off the bat, we're gonna go key on and check some fuses under the hood. Okay, test light. If it finds a positive, it should light up if it has a good ground. Yes, it does. Now, we want to check everything that's EFI, ETCS. Look at that. 30-second crank no start diagnosis. Let's replace the fuse. This thing should fire right up. Brand new fuse. Place your bets now. Is it going to fire up? Check engine light is back on. Happy customer. Excellent. Magic. All right, that's it.